Welcome to Lompoc. We're in the city of Lompoc, which is in the Santa Ynez Valley. And I grew up in Santa Ynez on a vineyard in the Happy Canyon area, which is it's the Happy Canyon AVA of Santa Barbara County. So we are a very small production here. So my father and my family, we planted 3 acres of grapes of Cabernet Sauvignon back in 1975 in Santa Ynez. So that was my introduction when I was in high school to the wine industry. So I've been with the wine industry ever since. So I started out actually growing grapes, which is actually probably the best segue into winemaking. So all the flavors in the wines are really made in the vineyard. My job here in the cellar is just to finish them off and make them presentable so we can all enjoy a good bottle of wine. All right. So one of the very unique aspects of Santa Ynez Valley is we run east to west, and about 10 miles from here, it's the Pacific Ocean. So and there's nothing to obstruct that Pacific breeze that blows through the valley. So that creates a very unique climate to Santa Ynez. So the closer you are to the ocean, you can do varieties like Pinot Noir and Chardonnay that love colder weather. And then as you get further away from the ocean, you get into areas like Buellton, Solvang. You can do some of the intermediate varieties that like it kind of in between weather. The Rhone varieties are excellent. And then as you keep going further east, you end up in the Happy Canyon area, which is where I grew up, and you do the Bordeaux varieties. So I have a very unique opportunity to make both Burgundy style, the Chardonnays and the Pinot Noir type wines, all the way through all the Rhone varieties. We also do some Italian varietals like Sangiovese, and then all the way into the Bordeaux. I specialize in the Bordeaux wines, so we do Petit Verdot, we do Merlot, we do Cabernet Sauvignon, we do and Cabernet Franc. So I work with many different varieties. The Rhone varieties, we have Syrah, which is one of my favorites. Also, I work with several different growers for Grenache. So we make some very rich, full-bodied Grenache. And so that being here in this area, growing up, I learned all those different aspects of where vineyards are specific to certain varietals. And so it's a lot of fun. Now I'm small enough, I can kind of pick and choose what grapes I do and grow. So I'm very picky, and I prefer to work with the growers. A lot of times the growers, they'll work with the winemakers. Very important in getting the quality of that wine. If you want a nice full-bodied, very balanced wine and very complementary of food, you can do that, but it's very helpful to have that relationship with the growers. So all the growers that I work with, I have a good relationship, or I actually grow the grapes myself. So we do about 1,500 cases a year, so I can choose to be picky on what grapes I do. So, and then we have basically a very loyal following within the local area here. So I don't do any distribution outside of Santa Barbara County. It's just too difficult for me as a small grower. So in order to enjoy our wines, the best thing to do is come visit us here in Santa Barbara County. So I've had a tasting room there's a little what do they call it? Solvang, the city of Solvang. It's a Danish tourist town. Right. So, but it's also there's over 20 wineries that have their tasting rooms in Solvang. So we've had that gives people the chance to come and visit us, go to Solvang, enjoy the shopping in Solvang, and then also to be able to sit down and have a glass of wine. And we also pair our wines with cheeses, also, so you can sit down with your family and your friends. You can enjoy tasting all the different varieties that we make. And then you can also have some cheese and food with it also. So it's a very nice thing to do with either if you're on holiday or if you're just want to go out with your family. Our wines are very special wines. They're not everyday drinking wines, right? So what we do here is we actually provide a very high quality wine. So that and our wines range anywhere from $30 a bottle to about $55 a bottle. So they're very special wines, but they're not overly priced either, So they're not collector wines. So these are everyday drinking wines for you, kind of your special occasions and things like that. So, but it's hard to find a wine that compares to our wine. I mean, at a higher price point. So people who find us and find our winery, they kind of enjoy, and it's a discovery for them to find some wines that are very high quality, very pleasant to drink, but aren't overly expensive. So, and that's just kind of taking advantage of who we are, just being very small, being very local here to Santa Ynez. That funds my habit, my winemaking habit, right? But I have over 40 years experience with vineyards and making wine, so I can offer something very unique to our people who come in to our tasting room and our wine club. So we have a lot of loyal customers that know the quality of our wines. They know how well they pair with food. They're never disappointed. You know, so I'm too small that every lot of wine that I make has got to be the best that I can do, okay, or I don't do it. So I can afford that luxury. At this facility, so we're a small facility, but I still have room for other people. So there's about 5 or 6 different wineries that kind of make their wine here with the help of me. So, and that kind of helps me as a small business owner, also kind of helps me pay my rent. And then also I get to offer some of my expertise to some of the folks that are here. So about half of what we produce here, I produce. And then there's like 4 or 5 other folks that are making wine here also. During harvest, we have, I think we have, 15 different vineyards. We have fruit come in. So the fruit comes in everywhere from September all the way through November. So we basically have like 2.5 months of, scheduling, when are you going to bring fruit in, when are you going to crush, ferment, and then press. So this here is our press. This is our red wine press. Yeah, so it's very hands-on. I mean, we do have some equipment like a forklift and a pump and stuff like that, but it's very hands-on. We're very we're involved every aspect. There's a lot of wineries where you walk through and they have tanks that go up, right, 3 stories tall, right? So that's not us, right? We're very small. We're we know our wine, right? From very start out in the vineyard all the way until we get it into bottle. So what you're seeing here is we're getting ready to bottle, right? So it's the end of 2.5 years accumulation of work and keeping maintenance, making sure the wine is safe in barrels. There's a lot involved into it, and you have to stay engaged in the wine, and it shows in the product. But I started out just like some of the smaller wineries in here, and that is sharing equipment, paying to use their equipment and stuff. So, but it's taken me about 20 years to accumulate at least a functioning winery. So there's not a lot of money to be made for us as a small business and a small winery. So this is more of our love and our passion. So to make, and it's something that we can actually, it's a part of us that goes into the glass, right? So there's a lot of us small wineries here in Santa Barbara County, which makes Santa Barbara County wine so fun, right? Because I'm not the only person who's small production. So there's pockets of people like myself all over. There's pockets over here in Lompoc, a lot in Buellton, Santa Maria, and also now in Santa Barbara. So you get these pockets of small winemaking communities that are making some excellent wines. So yeah, so if you put your heart and soul into it, you're gonna make good wine.